guys, welcome back to another video. I'm going to go over the up and over rig that I was using at Enzyme in my last video. I used the Ultimate Power Flex. Don't know if you can see that, the label's pretty beaten up there. This is a £50. I'll take my arm span up there, and mostly use this for smooth hounds, rays, bass, sort of like the bigger species. You can, because I'm using the bigger hooks, I'm using the Cox and Rules size 1 Chinooks. Quite like these because they're offset out of the pack already. I don't know if you can see that there. They're really sharp hooks and they're quite nice. They're wider gauge wire compared to what I usually use. But yeah, they've done the job so far. It's a really simple rig. All you're going to need is 2 bait clips, like those, the Gemini bait clip links. I usually use on the bottom one that the lead clips onto, because I use these leads, the breakaway leads. They already have the bait clip on them, so initially you wouldn't need the bait clip on that link unless you're using a plain lead, like a plain bomb, where you don't have the clip on it. Then use these ones. If you're using a breakaway leads with the clips, then you can get away with just using the normal links without the bait clip on them. So one end of the rig body, I'm going to tie what I use for most of my fishing, well, most of my rigs, just a standard blood knot there. So you go through, put your finger there, make a loop, you go around the line 6 times. So you've gone around 6 times, see where you've got your finger there, you've made a loop, take your tag end, back through that loop, wet the line, and pull it tight. What I like to do, just to make sure that it's definitely cinched down tight enough so that it's not going to pull and stretch in a cast and pop off, I'll get the lead in there if I can. Some of these are really stiff, but you get there in the end. So yeah, what I do, I put a lead on it and pull it tight. See how that's now pulled back out? Pull it back in. Use your nails, just pull that back down there. Give it a couple of times, pulling it out, and then pull it back in, and then that will not go anywhere then. That's solid. And when I cut the tag ends, I'll leave a bit of a tag in there, just so that if the knot does slip like I just showed you, there's a bit of line there that's still, well, hasn't pulled right the way through the knot. So that's one end. That will be the clip that goes onto your rod top. And then after that, you'll have a bead. I'm using these breakaway beads, the pear drop beads. These are the larger ones. They do 2 sizes that I've got on a square that you just snap off. I quite like these. They seem to work for me. Not that I'm sure they make much of a difference, but yeah, they're quite nice. So on that, obviously, you'll have your main clip for your rod top, a bead, the link for your lead, another bead, and then at the other end of the rig, you tie a swivel. I'm using the Gemini snood swivels. They're really, really small, but they're £45 swivels, which is quite good for the size of them. I don't like really big jumbo size swivels because it's just more things for the weed to catch on and snag on. And on there, just the same knot as before, standard blood knot, around 6 times, and back through that loop. Obviously wet the line. The reason for wetting the line, as most of you may well know, is when you cinch that knot down, the friction causes heat and it rubs along the line and makes it weaker. Not massively weaker, but over time it will get weaker and weaker, and the last thing you want is your lead popping off mid-cast and, well, everyone diving for cover. Again, leave a nice bit of a tag in there. A lot of people don't like doing it. They want to trim them as tight as they can because it's more things for wheat to snag up on. Yeah, that's true, but I'd rather be safe than sorry and make sure that my knots aren't going to slip if I have a big fish on, or if you're getting a snag, you know your knot's not going to go, your hook might snap before that, or your hook length at least. So the main part, obviously your snood, your hook length, whatever you'd like to call it. I'm using this, the 20 pound Amnesia by Sunset. I really like this. Give it a few stretches, just run it through your thumbs like that, warm it up. Be careful when doing this because it will cut into your skin if you put too much pressure there. And then that is really limp and it sits perfect in the tide. So what I'll do, I'll take my hook, same knot again on one end, around 6 times back through the loop. So I'm going to try and get out and do another session, but with the weather we're having at the moment, the rivers are filling with fresh water, which in some cases, some people may believe it, some people may not. There's too much fresh water in the rivers for the fish to be feeding. It just, for me, after a heavy downpour, the rivers don't fish as well. I don't know if that's the same for you guys, but I've noticed a bit of a difference after a heavy downpour. With this, I won't be using ragworm baits, or I might use, say, 2 or 3 king rag whipped together for the bass, but I'll leave a little bit of a tag in there just to act sort of as an extra bait stop to stop the worm sliding back down the line and just balling up on the hook. That hopefully in turn should increase the hook up rate. With these, well, this style rig, essentially, you want to make sure that your hook length isn't too long so that your main rig body will actually go up and over, essentially. So what you want, put this lead on the lead clip. So what you want is, obviously, that link will be to your shock leader from your rod top. You want to be able to take your rig body up and over that link. So obviously that swivel, the line will then come down into that lead clip. So you need to make sure that from that swivel there to your bait clip, your hook length isn't too long for that. Otherwise you'll end up putting your hook length in that up and over part, and you're relying on the strength of the hook length to not crack off. So always make sure that my hook lengths are shorter than that, which that one is too long, so trim that down a bit, make it a bit shorter. Yeah, because it's a running ledger, if you want it to fish more natural, obviously you can make longer hook lengths, just make the rig body longer. Obviously the shorter the rig, the more distance you get, but where I'll be fishing, it won't take a lot of casting to get into the deeper water. So you could even get away with just a standard running ledger without clipping it down. All the up and over is, it's just a glorified running ledger that you can just clip down. It goes up, over, and clips down. It fishes exactly the same as a running ledger would. So with the hook length onto the swivel, nice tidy knots, exactly the same again, just a standard blood knot. And then that is it. That is the rig tied. So I'll show you how to flip it up. So this is a hell of a lot easier when you've got it on the rod top, for sure. So you want to take your main rig body up and over into that loop, and then your hook will come down and clip up into that underneath the clip on your lead. But I don't know if you can see that, so get that. So see how I have a bait clip there and this one here. I put that on facing that way. I know it's not gonna happen, the chances are very minimal, but when that pushes the hook up, when that dispenses the hook, if this bait clip was the same side as the one that's on the lead, I know it might not happen, but I'd rather just be safe than sorry. There's chances that that could pop up and snag up underneath that. I know the chances are very minimal, but it's just my personal preference. I'm not saying it's the right way or wrong way to do it, it's just what I like to do. So obviously that is quite a long rig when it's fishing, but it's quite short now. That's about just shy of a metre, and obviously that will get you easily 60, 70, maybe 80 yards if you're not pendulum casting. Anyway, if you're pendulum casting, then, well, you won't really need to worry about it, because you'll definitely be hitting the distance if you're pendulum casting with a multiplier or even a fixed spool. Nowadays, half of the fixed spools out there on market are absolutely immense, especially with the rods that we've got coming out now. They're unbelievable. So yeah, that's it. That is all I do to make my up and over. I take that on all of my sessions. I'll fish with 2 rods, and I'll have a big bait, whether that be squid and sandeel, mackerel and sandeel, any fish baits, or big worm baits, say for cod or something. You could fish that for cod. You can, I mean, you could even add another hook up there for a holder hook, so you're fishing with a pennel. Obviously it won't be a pulley, it'll just be the pennel hook length. Again, fish big worm baits for cod, bass, rays. I mean, I know around Southampton Water where I fish, quite a few of the rays, thornbacks, they've come out on ragworm, like big king ragworm, about that long, single hook, not massive hooks either, just strong hooks that will help you bully them off of the seabed and get it in. So yeah, that's how I tie my up and over. I will be making another video when I get some new pliers for the crimps, because I use thin nose pliers, quick and easy. I suppose it's not as big if you got to say, I always take them with me down to the beach, because we all have them sessions. God forbid we don't always have them sessions where you crack off, snags, everything just goes wrong. I hate tying rigs at the best of times, let alone tying them on the beach. So yeah, I use thin nose pliers, nice and easy. It don't take up as much room as your big crimping tools or whatever. So yeah, once I get another set of them, which will be the next couple of days or so, I will have another video up of how I tie my loop rig. So look out for that one. If there is anything that you'd like to see, drop it in the comments below. This year I want to try and get out on the smooth hounds again. Well, I will be getting out on the smooth hounds. I'm going to try a few of the beaches close to me that I know produce. I'm going to try for the stingrays again on a local beach to me, in Southampton Water. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get out on the kayak this year. Try for bass and smooth out. I want to try for the smooth hound on the kayak. That'll be pretty fun. I'll be doing some lure fishing. So yeah, I'll be covering quite a few different aspects of shore fishing, kayak fishing. Might do a bit of freshwater, I'm not too sure yet. It's up to you guys. Let me know in the comments below. Again, if you like the video, please like, subscribe, share it with your social medias, and tight lines, keep safe, and I'll see you in the next one.